initial response in our market here was there was probably some nervous long holders who were on the wrong side of that report. We're very keen to liquidate some stocks after that report. But I think what we've seen is this continued amount of demand out of China for Australian sorghum. China has become a major customer here in the last few months for Australian sorghum. We anticipate somewhere between 200 and 250,000 tonnes of Australian sorghum has been sold to China in boxes, which is unheard of. In many respects that makes them our major customer here for the next 90 days. So what we saw on that price drop, we saw more Chinese demand come into the market, and prices have reasonably quickly rebounded back almost to levels that they were prior to that report. So that's seen a strengthening in basis, quite a large strengthening in basis. Southern Queensland and Northern New South Wales sorghum is well placed to go into that market because this is where the container packing facilities are, and that Chinese demand is calling for containers. There's a major inverse in the market. We've got nearby prices at very high levels still, and we've got deferred prices, prices come August, September, October, that are much cheaper, and that's a reflection of the new crop cycle in the Northern Hemisphere. It's about to be planted, or it's being planted now in North America, and by September or August, September and October we'll start to see a lot of harvest and therefore a lot of selling come about. So what we're seeing is significantly cheaper offers of corn and sorghum into our markets come August, and this is going to make the export task extremely difficult for CQ sorghum prices this year. To put some numbers around that, US sorghum landed into the markets that we need to chase is probably about $30 a tonne cheaper than the local product. So that really is going to be a challenge for our market going forward, is trying to find demand for our crop in CQ, and the only way to do that is with cheaper prices. So we are genuinely concerned at the medium term outlook for prices in central Queensland come harvest time. Look, China is certainly there, and they are buying at the moment. Obviously, we've seen them take these large amounts of Australian sorghum containers. That's primarily for human consumption. They turn that into a wine or a liquor of sorts. We have also seen China, just in the last week or so, buy anywhere up to about 800,000 or 900,000 tonnes of US wheat, and that's obviously the reason why we've seen wheat prices rebound sharply after that report. So look, China's definitely buying. They're buying Aussie sorghum, they're buying wheat. We believe if the market fell further, they would buy large quantities of US corn. So I think if you were to go back 10 years or so, you would have actually seen China as a major exporter of corn into a number of Asian markets. That whole paradigm has shifted now. In the last 3 or 4 years, China has become a major importer. Certainly domestic demand from Chinese feeding industries is growing at an exponential rate. We've seen China, as I said, turn from exporter to a major importer. I think last year, or this current year, they're going to import about 5 to 7 million tonnes of corn. The market expects that next year that could be as much as 10 million tonnes, and maybe by 2017, 2018, you could see China importing 20 million tonnes of corn every year. I think the market will continue to need that demand because production continues to increase in all parts of the world. So China is a major player now. They will continue to grow and be a major player as time goes by, and that's obviously good news for the Australian grain producers because we're well positioned to take advantage of that.